Hello. How's it going? Today, I've been doing a lot of weddings. I know I've talked a lot about weddings, but it's wedding season, and that's most of the gigs I've been talking about. But I had the thought, because now I've also attended weddings, and a lot of y'all have the same weddings. I hate to break it to you. Your special day is not so special. You'll find out more at 11. No, but really, I wanted to talk about this because I'm like, does everyone else think this, or is it just, people who are vendors and, they see it's the same version of every wedding? But let's go ahead and talk about that today on the podcast. Whoops. All right. Here we are once again. Here we are once again. How's it going? It's your old pal, the namesake of this podcast, Dr. Snedeker. That's me, your old pal, longest, dearest friend, bestest friend ever. And don't try to tell me otherwise, because we've been friends for a long time. Today is about weddings. I have been all over the place this month. I've been to weddings as far north as Glen Arbor, Petoskey. Like, you go look at these Michigan cities. They're north. They're you're getting close to the Mackinac Bridge. You're getting close to the islands around Michigan. Crossing the bridge of the UP, all of that stuff. But, all the lower peninsula, northern cities, Traverse City, greater Traverse City area, a lot of weddings. A lot of people wanting to just stare at the water and watch the sunset while they, also go to a party they didn't have to pay for. Unless you, were putting on the party. But all y'all got the same weddings. Why? Why is this... It's okay. To clarify, just so that you're not thinking I'm biased, I've played, I'm going to guess easily 300 weddings. Easily 300 weddings. And in my time playing 300 weddings, here are first of all, here's what makes them all the same. Here's why I make that claim. Yes, there is a flow, a formatting to make things easier to plan around. The cocktail hour, it's after the ceremony. Get everyone socially lubricated so that they can, break the ice when you have the misfit table that's like your estranged cousin and your friend's girlfriend no one knows, and the dude who he's actually the cameraman, but he has to sit with them because there's no vendor table. That type of vibe. Cocktail hour, you listen to some light jazz, you can just do this for the whole, oh yeah, I work in accounts receivable at Herman and Sherman, and we pulled in quite the deal the other day, $4 million over our original projections, and our profits are looking higher than ever. My, that's some wonderful background jazz. I can tell they're almost about to start a song, but it's a song I don't know, so I don't care. I've heard it at every wedding. And, it's that sure, it might, maybe the conversation's lighter than that, but I assume, the amount of money I've seen at a lot of these weddings too that I'm thinking of, I'm just you spend all this money and it's all the same. It's all the same. Let's do the outdoor tent. Oh, yeah, okay. That's functional, It makes sense. Let's put a house where there's no house. Because the outdoors is such a burden, The sun, the wind, the rain. It's all annoying. So if we could be outside but not have any bugs, heat, cold, rain, snow, wind... bees, birds, anything. If you could just take all the nature and remove it and sterilize it so that I get a view of some trees and a lake, that'd be prime. So it's, you know, tents are functional. That's not my complaint. My complaint is when, you know, a lot of the venues are like, let's carve out some comfort from this landscape for people who want to golf. Essentially, let's make everything feel as like placid and safe as possible. Like, not saying that there should be risk. You know, you don't want to have a wedding that's like, all right, who's coming? It's like you want to have a wedding that's like, any personality? Does anyone have personality in their weddings anymore? Or they just default to what the planner, you're going to want white tablecloths, gold plate settings, beautiful gold plate settings. You're going to have a you know, like a light pink napkins. You're going to have, you know, slightly golded silverware, or, you know, and you're, it's like, did you get the chicken or the beef or the fish? And then it's like, oh, it's buffet style, which actually that is better. You know, I get to choose my own adventure. I don't get to have someone else be like, okay, everyone gets a portion of fish and eat 4 sprigs of asparagus. And it's like, no. So y'all have the same menus. Y'all order the same, like, you know, like, we don't want anyone to be upset, but we also don't have any food for vegetarians or vegans. It's all a bunch of cooked protein that's, like, prepared, you know, that day, and, you know, it's hit or miss. So you all have the same dinners. Varying degrees of open barness. I've had a lot more gigs in the last year where they're like, yeah, musicians can't drink. They didn't pay for it. They didn't pay for 6 extra people to get a couple drinks. Like, I don't really drink anymore at events, but, you know, or like while, you know, I might drink after I'm playing, but I don't know if I would drink before. Like, just when they say like, oh yeah, you can't, the musicians can't have, it's like, I'm not gonna have any, like, you've already spent so much money. Like, just let the band members have a drink. Like, if we're, the thing is, like, people are like, oh, musicians, they're all, you know, they're gonna cause a problem if they get drunk. It's like a lot of musicians are functional alcoholics, so you don't have to worry about that. They know how to handle their alcohol. It's the only thing that they like. It's the lifeblood of their artistry. It lubes them up for. I've used lube twice in this episode. I guess 3 times with that reference. All right, back to talking about weddings. We'll start from the top, you know, reset it in a way, because sure, aesthetic choices differ, you know, oh, this person had a cookie as a gift. This person has tiny little, you know, little chocolates, everyone at each table. Oh, this one, you know, they got mints. They have, you know, there was a wedding where the party favors were like Yeti tumblers. Like, they just balled out and got everyone like either mint green or like a light pink Yeti tumbler. So it's like, okay, they balled out for that. But it's like, y'all, the flow is all the same. Like, I get it. Like, most of the reception is the dinner. Like, you might get 3 hours to dance, but a lot of it is like, you do the ceremony, you get a couple drinks in you, you're a little chatty at dinner, you sober up just enough to remember you need to go get another drink, and then get to the dance floor, and then you have some drinks throughout the night, and you feel like, oh, I can dance to, you know, like, hey guys, do you remember September? So, you know, there's that flow. It's just seeing a lot of the same people, same interactions. Everyone, I went to a wedding and it was like, you know, it was nice catching up with people, but you can always, as not a homeowner, to hear people talk about their homes is so boring. Like, I'd rather see your house than hear you like, yeah, I painted the trim blue, and I think that really goes well with the dining room table set. My wife, she picked up some lovely daffodils from the local flower shop, and we're just really happy about how it ties the room together. It's perfect to have the guests over. We're going to have, the gals over for some drinks. The guys are coming by. You can check out the man cave. I got a big screen. It's mounted to the wall, and you can see it from anywhere in the room. But I'm so glad, I'm so glad that I bought a house like before the market turned. We were looking to buy, and we found a spot right at the tail end of 2019. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine buying a house right before the pandemic? No, because we didn't know it was happening. So whatever. Well, you know, I spent most of quarantine renovating my house. There's so many projects. They don't tell you this when you buy the house. Like, some things need to be fixed, but you want to get in there and make it your own. I've been repainting walls. I've been replacing old appliances. I want to work on the countertop. I'm going to do the floors. It's a whole process. It's a journey, really. It's a part of it, extension of my personality, because I want people to see what I'm doing all the time. And eventually you just turn into mush. You're like, is your personality your house? A house is your personality. Not even the room, not even the decor, just talking about the house. Like, oh, I've had to fix that shingle. I don't care. Tell me about what's in the house. Tell me about, like, did you have anyone over? Are you, is it you and a dog? Is it like, it's like, oh, I set up a home theater. It's chill. It was a great escape during the like, that's more interesting to me. Like, if you mention stuff and it's like how it fit into your life, because I got stuff. I mean, look at this guitar, the one I'm pointing at that's in the background. That's an 8-string guitar. That has a story. It's not a very long one. I found it, the company was selling it for like $550, and that's like, it was over half off. It was like a liquidation sale, and I'm like, why not? And now I have it just sitting there waiting for me to learn how to use it effectively. But yeah, so people are talking about renovating their houses, talking about moving. People are like, oh, we're looking to move. Our house, we've lived in our current home for about 5 years, and we have the money to pay over asking, but the market is just so hard. It's like, just stop. I don't care. I'm a musician. Do you think I can empathize with you owning a home in your 20s? No, you chose a career path that pays you that much, and you have a partner that is also earning. I am by myself. Like, I have to earn all the money that for me to survive, and I do that. It doesn't leave me with a lot of room for savings, and as I get closer to 30, I'm pushing for more savings. And I guess investments too. Different holdings, diversify your portfolio. But back to the subject of weddings, because I could go on and on about the chitter chatter. We get to the part that I really have the expertise in. Is the choice of music. Everybody thinks they're the first person to try it. Everybody. And it's not to just I'm not going to show up at your wedding and go like, I've already played that at like 6 other weddings. I'm going to be like, yeah, that was a fun addition. 'Cause I'm not a complete monster. I'm critical, but I know the response shouldn't be, yeah, Jurassic Park. I played that at a wedding last week. You're not special. In fact, I think your marriage is over, because if that was the decision you made with your partner as a special decision, you clearly don't have what it takes. If you're picking Jurassic Park, I mean, that's like, we're talking like bottom barrel, like, oh, I picked something from a movie soundtrack. But I don't have a relationship with Jurassic Park, me personally. So there's no saluting you. There's no, the things that bring me joy are very specified. And then when I see this kind of like blanket, yes, maybe that just is speaking to how impactful art is. Yes, popular music, popular cinema, popular soundtracks. Like, it all feeds into everyone's idea of what makes their special day special. So when you have, like, the, that, or, September, I played that earlier. What's another popular song? What is it? Oh. Go see John Legend. He's probably gonna play this song on tour. Or I'm just figuring out all these songs. Waiting for you. Here's the soundtrack from the Twilight movie. And this Christina Perri lady probably made a whole bunch of money off of it and now has a successful career because of this one song. And we can all hope to have that same level of instant success that lets us continue to do our passions. What's another one? Eventually it's going to be, it's kind of creeping up. This one I actually wouldn't mind playing, but no one's picked it yet. What you doing? Where you at? You got plans? Don't say that. I'm dipping fine in a robe. I look too good to be alone. I am playing no game, but when I'm saying I'm never arms. It changed back to that key, back to C. I'ma leave the door. That, or what's another one? When I wake up, and you're gonna sing the song, but you don't know any of the verses, you just know the chorus. And you wake up, and that. I played this. You've heard me play it multiple times in the podcast. What's another one? I know you wanna leave me, but I refuse to let you go. That ain't too proud to beg, sweet darling. Like that. You think your sign sale delivered? You're gonna play this song. We usually kick off the night with this because it's after the ceremony and they're thinking about how they just got married today. Oh, everyone, get on the dance floor. Everybody, dance, Uncle Jerry. You've had like 8 whiskey sours, but you can dance, right? You can do it. You can just honestly deliver. Or, all the Stevie hits. What's another Stevie one? All those songs. All those songs are at, and I'm now in the shape of you. Wait. What is it? That. Oh, that. I love the shape of you. That. What else? There's so many shared songs. So many. I'm walking on sunshine. you're walking on sunshine. One that I need to memorize, the I think that's, I don't know. I don't remember exactly how the lick goes. And I messed up the solo last night, but hopefully you didn't notice. Sorry. I tried to do it with one hand, and I didn't put my iPad on the stand, so it was hard to see it, and I was kind of like hunched over and in a weird, awkward position, and it didn't feel totally comfortable, and then I just was like, and just like, okay, just use one hand. Save this. What's another song? It's at every wedding. It might seem crazy, but you're gonna hear this song. Because Happy's, blew up when it came out, so of course that's gonna be on there. What's the other one? Cause I want to know. You make my dreams come true. Another song that's popular at weddings. I could just spend a 2-hour podcast just playing through every song. And don't get me wrong, some of the songs are fun, and some of the songs, they grow on you as like, I remember play. Like, you don't play a song for a while, and you're like, this is fun. I remember how to play it. And some song like Shout always goes over well, and I Feel Good, and like all the soul and the Motown that people remember, and then some of the current pop hits. Another one that's been popular this summer, what is it? I don't know the exact notes. Like, Mr. Brightside, that's it. Like, and again, I said it earlier, it's because it's been, these songs have become popular, and then they seep into, nostalgia. They sleep it, that song, Mr. Brightside, is like, oh, remember middle school and high school dances? Remember the last time we had fun, Carol? Remember that? Remember? People my age talking like, remember when we were happy? Remember back 08, 2008? There are too many of the same songs. I encourage you to find songs that are more special and not so much the same. And if you're listening to this like, hey, I genuinely love, we met our first show as a Bruno Mars show. How dare you? I don't care. I do. But I don't. I care in the sense that you have every right to, as an intrepid? Are you intrepid? Are you an intrepid adventurer? You as a person who's been to a wedding or listens to music or whatever, there's a whole thing that I want to iterate, because Marcus Elliott, who I'm going to have as a guest on Mitten Backstage at some point in the future, he's a wonderful, talented Detroit saxophone player. He's been posting a lot of, very helpful knowledge for the youngins. He's a good mentor, good person with a lot of experience and a lot of creative drive. He was saying, don't vibe anyone for the type of music they listen to. And this whole podcast has been kind of a vibe against people who pick certain songs for weddings. And yes, with Blue Water Kings, we have a formula, a thing that helps us all live together in peace and harmony. It's easy for the band. It's easy for us. Everyone feels good. But eventually it's like you feel like you're playing the same wedding. Like, not just the fact that, like, oh, cool, like, similar set from last week, same band leaders, so similar set list. It's like, oh, it's another, like, kind of non-offensive designed room to seat people in a climate-controlled environment and serve them like, catered food. Sometimes it's killer. Most times it's like, it's good. It's free. Better than, some free food. But, I don't, volume and catering. It's like, no, he's throwing shade at catering. It's like, but it all just blurs together. I don't remember half the bride and groom's names. I don't remember. Everyone's in the same kind of suits, same kind of dress, same kind of venue. It's like, oh, it's this beautiful little, like, tiny little, like, private, like, vineyard, or it's by a lake, or it's by, and I get it. It's the industry set up that way, and people, that's their choice of venue, and then no one's saying, like, what about Chuck E. Cheese, play some skee ball, get a little slice of pizza, have a little good old time with Cheddar Chuck, and the and the pizza bunch. This is all, I'm tying it all together as you can celebrate however you want. I feel like I'm stuck in a loop with some of these weddings. I'm like, I played this venue last week, or have I always played this venue? And you see repeat venues. Some of them are great. Some of them are like, eh. And then, the little difference is, at the end of the day, no one's going to care that you had, like each piece of chocolate was woven together with a beautiful golden thread, and everyone gets their own. It's like, no, you remember that Phil drank too much and he got lit on the dance floor and then threw up in the parking lot. You remember that Aunt Carol couldn't stop gossiping about your cousin who is, about to go in for a surgery to fix his leg because he injured it playing baseball. But all she can talk about is how he smokes weed. And then, like, oh, it's the the father of the bride. He's making a toast, and it's super awkward, and it's like, oh, I wrote it down, but did I? Ha ha ha! I prepared. And then some best, the maid of honor is just like, I've known her since she was like a little girl. And I remember in high school when we would watch YouTube. That was literally a speech. The most fun she had with this girl in the 20 plus years she's known this girl was when they would watch YouTube videos in high school. That means they're not friends. That means they're not friends. There's nothing. Or these people who've never lived life. They've lived life in these tiny little, like, curated cubicles of, like, well, if you just do this, you'll get access to daddy's money. And then be like, oh, I remember when we went to camp and you, me, and Topher, like, we would just go crazy. We'd get on daddy's boat and we'd go out into the water and, have a few beers. Like, we were bad kids, Oh, remember that time we went to that restaurant and you said, oh, I'll have the steak, knowing that you were a vegetarian. Like, God, just why are your lives so boring at these weddings? I'm getting into another tangent. Because that's another frustrating thing. I hear the same toasts. It's like, is every person just like, I remember when we, like, the most boring, it's not like, oh, I stepped in and interceded on your behalf for, like, something important. It's just like these vapid, like, oh, what did we do together? I think we went to that bar one time. I guess that was fun. Yeah, we went to the bar one time, and that's when I knew my boy, he's committed, bro. Like, just we're ending the episode. I'm going to spend all the time just complaining if I don't. So, but let me know if you liked this podcast, if you like this version with me getting, peeved about things nobody cares about, you can let me know by liking and subscribing, following, sharing, all the things that make the internet a crazy place to live in, because you could just, either blow up in a second or live in relative obscurity. But creating things helps me feel like I'm getting things done. And it's a skill that I'm developing, and I like podcasting. I'm doing this for fun. Like, I'm not Joe Rogan. So, am I? I'm not Joe Rogan. No, I'm not Joe Rogan. But we'll see you next week for more stuff. I'm going to go on a boat, which I can't wait to do. Going on a boat. in Grand Haven. Yeah. All right, see you next week.